Yes, we are live and the recording is on.
So, good morning, everybody. This session that we are having today on the future of women entrepreneurship, it's the inaugural session. I'll just give you a background of this entire concept. Script for Her is a concept that we are talking of, wherein we are talking about how can we script the narrative for the future of women entrepreneurship. And it started with the concept of a hackathon, wherein we were looking at solving the issues which are being faced by women entrepreneurs from rural spaces, and that problem can be solved by the innovative young minds across the country. The hackathon will be initiated from today, post this session, where around 100 plus participants who are technical participants who are going to create solutions for women entrepreneurs in the different problem statements that have been given to them. Now, so for us to conduct the hackathon, one of the things we also realized is that there has to be a larger discussion around the future of women entrepreneurship in the country. And what we try to do is bring speakers, thinkers from across the globe to talk about how is women entrepreneurship being currently looked at and what will be the narrative for future. अभी किस तरह से देखा जा रहा है वुमेन एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप को, और आगे हमारे देश में इसको आगे किस तरह से ले जाया जाएगा. And what better way to start than to talk to women entrepreneurs on the field. They are going through it day and night. So to know that what is the kind of future that they see for themselves and the community of women entrepreneurs in future, that's what we are here for. We start our Impact Week with this session today. And to take us through this session is Manju. Manju is a very dear friend. She's the co-founder of Newsocia and has been doing amazing work in the space of research and impact assessment across the globe. They have a very soft corner for women entrepreneurship and promotion of women entrepreneurship. And over to you, Manju. She has been doing Newsocia, and Manju and Newsocia has been doing amazing work. We have been working closely together in various elements, but the work that they are doing is exemplifying. Over to you, Manju. The forum is all yours.
Thank you so much. And I think it's a privilege and honor to be here amongst all of you, women entrepreneurs themselves who are perhaps more experienced than me in running their own enterprises and have a lot of things to speak as well. So very good morning to all my esteemed guests on the panel and to all the listeners out there. I would like to begin this conversation by sharing a few thoughts that crossed my mind when I was thinking about this panel discussion. And so we all know that when we speak about women and economy, world over, women are often seen as beneficiaries. कोई भी प्रोग्राम उठा के हम देखते हैं तो हम ये सोचते हैं कि हम उनको सपोर्ट कैसे करें. उनकी वॉइसेस के बारे में हम ज़्यादा हम सोचते नहीं हैं. We don't see them as a contributor to growth. We often find them and treat them as or we women are being treated as beneficiaries of national projects, international projects, development initiatives, policies and other things. So this is despite the fact that in several communities, women have been in the forefront of farming. And when we speak about farmers, there is hardly anyone who imagines a woman farmer, right? हम इवन इंटरनेट में देखते हैं तो हमको वो फार्मर का जो पिक्चर हम बच्चे ढूंढते हैं इंटरनेट में आजकल स्कूल के एक्सपेरिमेंट्स करने के लिए, तो उनको मेल फार्मर ही दिखाई पड़ता है, राइट? And then we have in the handloom sector, especially in India, where more than 60% of the weavers are women. And yet, when we look at the narrative, when we look at pictures, we look at examples, then there is always this picture, and more often the picture of a male weaver which comes into play. No, there is no, and we are not here for a gender-driven discussion. That is not the purpose of this discussion. But the point that I want to make here is that entrepreneurship is clearly not a new area for women. ऐसा नहीं है कि women अभी entrepreneur बनना शुरू किया है. They've been there. It's just that her efforts are often seen as exceptions, right? कि हाँ घर पे हैं, थोड़ा extra time है तो हम ये भी कर सकते हैं. That is the way we've been always seen, right? And more often than not, we do not even come into the mainstream planning by policymakers and other ecosystem players कि हाँ इनके लिए अलग से क्या किया जा सकता है, उनकी voices को कैसे हम integrate कर सकते हैं. There isn't much that has been happening. Fundamentally, if you look at it, right, running a home, I mean, all of us are homemakers also. And running a home efficiently with whatever elements that a patriarchal head of the family gives us once in a month or once in a week, we have been running our family like an enterprise. Nothing short of, the experience is nothing short of running an enterprise. But sadly, that's not even considered as an economic activity anywhere in the world. And that's not just with India, but with developed nations also. But I'm very happy that things are starting to change. Today, the very fact that we are having a discussion and a dedicated discussion on the topic of women entrepreneurs and the future is a sign of that changing times. I know the past may not have been very great, but the future can definitely be bright. And I would like to begin this discussion on that positive hope, the note that it's my hope that we really do not have to do these discussions again and again, trying to attract, the kind of focus that we really deserve. And it's my absolute pleasure to kickstart this amazing week full of discussions around women entrepreneurship and its different facets. So in this opening panel, I have with me some amazing women entrepreneurs who, with their sheer hard work and innovation, are not just running a successful enterprise, but also changing lives of people in rural India and influencing lives of girls and women as they grow. So let me take this opportunity to introduce the panelists today. I welcome Shubhra ji. She is the proprietor of Meera Foods and is also serving as a secretary at Action for Community Transformation Manipur. She has over 30 years of professional experience, and she's been deeply involved in community building. Apart from building a successful food processing business, she exports all over the world. Welcome, Shubhra ji. I would also like to welcome Pushpanjali Mahanand. She is the founder of Ma Vaibhav Lakshmi SG. Now, Pushpanjali ji ka matlab kahani kuch aur hai, right? She has broken the barriers of gender by entering into wooden art business in Odisha. She has trained women to do wooden sculpting, and she is considered as the first woman wooden karigar of Odisha and has been awarded by the Chief Minister and the Governor of Odisha. आपका स्वागत है पुष्पांजलि जी. A pleasure to have you here. I would also like to welcome Akshaya Shri, founder director at TAD Udyog Private Limited. She is passionate about bamboo innovation and value chain development in rural area. She believes that bamboo and rural India are most underutilized assets that the country has, and that need to be promoted innovatively. Welcome, Akshaya. And last but not the least, I would like to welcome Aruna, founder of School Radio, which is an innovative platform where socially significant topics are curated as a content by children and youth themselves. She's also the managing partner of Digital School and has over 26 years of experience in media and development. Welcome, Aruna ji. So, before I start this discussion, I encourage all our live listeners to share your questions in the chat box so that we can take them up towards the end of this first round of discussions and address as much as we can. I would like to begin this panel discussion by with asking a question to पुष्पांजलि जी। पुष्पांजलि जी, आप अपने ग्रुप के बारे में हमें थोड़ा बताइए। हम सब जानना चाहते हैं कि आपने ये लकड़ी की कारीगरी का काम क्यों चुना?
जी, मेरा नाम पुष्पांजलि महानंद है और मैं माँ वैभव लक्ष्मी एसएचजी से बोल रही हूँ। हमारा जो एसएचजी है वुडन आर्ट के ऊपर काम करते, कैलीग्राफी के ऊपर काम करते हैं। ये जो काम है, हम नेम प्लेट है, चाबी रिंग से स्टार्ट करके नेम प्लेट, मैरिज ग्रीटिंग, बर्थडे ग्रीटिंग, मंत्र, बहुत सारा कुछ और जो डिजाइन वगैरह है वो सब चीज हम लोग तैयार करते हैं। और इस काम 2013 से चालू किया मैडम, और ये जो 2013 से लेके अभी तक ये जर्नी बहुत सी तकलीफ भरा चल रहा है। जैसे तैसे हम ये काम को आगे लेके जाना चाहते हैं, इस टाइप का अभी चल रहा है मैम।
मैं जानना चाहती हूँ पुष्पांजलि आपसे कि आपने ये क्यों चुना? ये एक ऐसी फील्ड है जहाँ पे बहुत कम महिलाएं दिखती हैं काम करते हुए, और हम जान सकते हैं कि हम सोच सकते हैं कि काफ़ी सारी मुश्किलें भी आपको आई होंगी, बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस भी पूछे होंगे लोग कि ये क्यों कर रहे हो, राइट? सो हम थोड़ा उसके बारे में जानना चाहेंगे।
जी, ये काम, मैं तो आर्ट से शुरू से ही मैं बहुत इंटरेस्टेड हूँ आर्ट के लाइन में। पढ़ाई मेरा थोड़ा कमजोर है, वीक है, मैं ज़्यादा पढ़ी लिखी नहीं हूँ। और जब मेरे पति बाहर थे तब ये काम के बारे में बताए थे कि एक ऐसा काम होता है, वुडन कैलीग्राफी के ऊपर काम होता है। तो मैं उनको ये सब चीज़ के बारे में बहुत कुछ सुनी थी, तो मेरे को इंटरेस्ट लगा कि प्लीज़ एक बार मेरे को ले जा सकते हैं क्या। जब उनके पास हमने गए, देखे, सब चीज़ चर्चा हुआ, बातचीत किए, सब ये सब काम के बारे में जानकारी हुआ, देखे, तो मैं वो जो मेरे गुरु हैं उनको मैं पूछी, सर क्या मैं ये सीख सकती हूँ? तो उन्होंने हंस के कहा कि अरे ये तो औरतों वाली काम है ही नहीं, ये पूरा हार्ड वर्किंग काम है, आप कर पाएंगे? मेरे को तो नहीं लगता। फिर भी आपको इंटरेस्ट है तो आके 1-2 दिन ट्राई कीजिए। बस एक ही मौका मिला, मैं 1-2 दिन का जो बोले थे, मैं प्लीज सर मैं करना चाहूंगी ये काम। मैं कर सकूंगी नहीं कर सकूंगी वो अलग बात है, लेकिन मैं कोशिश जरूर करूंगी बोल के बोले। तो ठीक है, आ सकते हैं बोले। आने के बाद अब किसी को एक मशीन पकड़ा देंगे और टूल्स पकड़ा देंगे और करो बोलने से क्या करना है? तो उस लाइन में हमको कैसे जानना चाहिए? और जो मेरे गुरु हैं वो जेल के कुछ कैदी हैं, उनको टीचिंग देने के लिए वो बाहर चले जाते थे। तो ये सब चीज सीखने के लिए मेरे लिए टफ था। फिर भी मैं आके सर को बोलती थी कि मेरे को काम तो कुछ नहीं हो पा रहा है, कैसे करूं, क्या करूं, समझ में नहीं आया। तो उन्होंने कुछ प्रिंट निकाल के देते थे, कुछ कटिंग करो अपने से जाके। तो इस हिसाब से हमने वो काम को काफी, वाकई बोलते थे कि हार्ड वर्किंग है, वाकई हार्ड वर्किंग था। पहला दिन तो हमारा हाथ उठा ही नहीं, काम करते करते हाथ नहीं उठा। फिर उसमें हम कैसे करें, नहीं जाएंगे तो वाकई बोलेंगे कि ये महिलाओं का काम है ही नहीं, इस टाइप का हमको थोड़ा सा फील होगा। जाना तो है किसी भी हाल में। अब उस हिसाब से हम 9 महीना कैसे करके ये हुनर को हासिल किया। अब हुनर तो हासिल कर लिए, हमने सोचा कि हम सीख तो लिए, तो अकेले सीखने से नहीं होगा, कुछ ऐसे महिलाओं को चुने जो कि हमारे आर्थिक स्थिति में वो कमजोर हैं और पिछड़े वर्ग में भी हैं वो लोग। उन महिलाओं दीदियों के साथ मैं जाके उनके साथ काम करना चाहिए, काम सीख उनको बताई। और उस बीच में भी हमको तकलीफ, ये क्या इसको तुम लेके आ गए हो और ये महिलाओं के साथ काम कर रहे हो, ये तो लड़के लोगों का काम है, इस टाइप का सवाल बहुत आया। और कुछ उनके पति देव जो हैं उन्होंने मना भी किया कि ये काम हमारे ये नहीं करेंगे और ये लड़के वाली काम महिलाओं को करो करो बोल रहे हो। इस काफी सारा समस्या आया, फिर भी हमने हिम्मत नहीं हारे। वो लोग एक ही साथ एकत्रित नहीं हो पाते थे, उनको एकत्रित ना करके हमने एक एक पर्सनल घर घर जाके जिसको जितना समय हुआ, जो जैसे हिसाब से सीखना चाहते थे उस हिसाब से हम उनको काम को सिखाए। और आज के डेट में हम माँ वैभव लक्ष्मी एसएचजी में 10 मेंबर, अभी 20 मेंबर हैं, 20 मेंबर हम लोग अभी तक के काम कर रहे हैं ये सीख के।
बहुत बढ़िया ना, मैं एक्चुअली देख भी सकती हूँ कि आप कुछ नेकलेस पेंडेंट और इयररिंग्स पहने हो जो शायद आपकी बनाई हुई है, राइट? वेरी नाइस, वेरी नाइस। सो शुक्रिया एक्चुअली। एंड अरुणा जी, आई हैव अ सिमिलर क्वेश्चन फॉर यू. Why school radio, and what is the social change you want to bring with that initiative?
Yeah, 34 crore people are children and youth in India, but their voices are being neglected. They are not part in the solution. They are not at all involved in the decision making process, even though they occupy, as I said, 34 crore population within the whole population of India. This key segment is being neglected by policymakers and families. At the same time, the potential which the youngsters have within them, they are not realizing because they lack confidence at home, in the society, everywhere they are being asked not to speak. This is not, your cup of tea. So please keep quiet. Elders are there to take decisions. And as a child, we all undergone lack of confidence, fear of expression, and inhibitions to share anything with anyone, even with classmates and family too. So if we break that inhibitions, fear, and then definitely children and youth are going to build their confidence. Personally, I have undergone this. Each one of us might have undergone the same kind of experience in their life, even though they wanted to express themselves, they wanted to participate in school, in debates, discussions, everything. But the inhibition, fear made them to, withhold back. So this made us to think, and we have experimented with children, visiting schools, colleges, introducing children to create their own content. Then we found children and youth are enjoyed a lot. All of them, 100% of them expressed. It's a great learning experience. It's a lifetime experience for us to participate in the process. That made us to continue this. We have started in the year 2015. We are still continuing because children and youth believed in us. They are really showing their potential, true potential. Yeah, we want to build that.
That's a great thing to understand, because I think I was reading through some research and it very clearly mentions that lack of confidence is seen as one of the major factor that withdraws, or rather holds people, especially women, from being entrepreneurs, right? In their entrepreneurial journey also, they face confidence issues, right? And I believe if we are able to, हम उसको बचपन में ही, if we are able to kind of solve the problem, break that, whatever inhibitions are there, शायद कुछ चीज़ें I believe कि चेंज किया जा सकता है, जो बहुत ओल्ड होने के बाद हम लोगों को भी लगता है कि कैसे इम्प्रूव करें, राइट? थैंक्स फॉर दैट गुड वर्क दैट यू आर डूइंग. I now want to ask Akshaya. And Akshaya, you have been in a business which is again a very male dominated kind of work, and I know that you've been running your business between Delhi and Assam. So I want to understand the top 3 challenges as per you that you or any woman entrepreneur might have faced, and especially in this current date, age and place that you're operating.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me here. And so the challenge is actually just starting an enterprise and running it itself is a biggest challenge, to be honest. And when you have a human resource involved in it, that too in a rural area where you don't know the language, you're very new to the whole geography. Even though I had traveled across the Northeast a lot, but working in a rural setup or with clusters or with people was not just new but also very difficult, because there is already an existing school of thought and you come from a different background from a different perspective and invention. So it's very difficult to ask people to absorb that kind of energy into their current setup. So uh, yes, so one thing that was there is just Pushpanjali ji also said, the mobilization of people, that was very, very challenging. And I think the first 1 or 2 years I had to spend a lot of effort and time into just mobilizing the kind of people that I'm, whom I can work with, whom I can retain for a longer period of time, who are really interested in working with me. So that was, I think, the first challenge. And thereupon, now that you have a value chain developed, now you have your people, then getting them to train, because training is easily said than done, because everybody is in their houses, they're in their comfort zones, and the first thing that we realize is pulling them out of that comfort zone is very difficult, and I think it's not the best route possible. So we had to channelize a way where we could reach out to them and give them the training, the tools, and we in fact did very specific ground readings and ground research, realizing that what is exactly lacking in particular clusters. So say if there's a cluster and they need a certain kind of machinery, they need certain kind of training into preparing the mats or any kind of bamboo sliver making. So those are the areas that we tried in identifying and help them improve those areas, and then finally developing products and taking them, because the quality, because when you're talking about products, customers do not really first look at it as a handmade product. They first try to find their own value in the product, right? So they would like it to be good looking, they would like it to be quality. So we had to match the consumer's mindset with the artisan's mindset and then create something. So and just running and absorbing this whole unique model into a proper organization, into an enterprise, was anyway so difficult. I did not know the language of the locals. Then I live here in Delhi, my work is in Tripura, so the distance was also so much. But over a period of time, so that's where your intention comes up. When you have the right intention, you automatically start finding the right people. I found my local partner who helped me mobilize the clusters, then even the cluster heads themselves. So in the first few visits they weren't that interested, but then in the following visits, when I started giving them orders, the designs, the colors, they sort of knew, okay, ye didi aati hai har baar acha order de ke jati hai, so let me sort of work with her. And now the scenario is such that no matter whatever product I say, the way I say, it's done exactly that way. And such integrated bond is there now, so they will not even give this product to someone else. They say ki it's it belongs to someone, so we're not going to give you the design. So yes, there are, and the challenges keeps coming every now and then. It's a challenging journey that makes your business at the end of the day, but I think the intention and the attitude has to be right.
And I think you brought in a very good point there, Akshaya, that I think one thing that we as women are able to really do well in the course of business is that trust building process, right? So I believe there is more comfort with people when they deal with a woman entrepreneur, because that, I think this might be a common perception that it automatically, हम एक लेडी से डील कर रहे हैं तो इंटीग्रिटी की इशू नहीं होंगी, ट्रस्ट की इशू नहीं होंगी, राइट? बिकॉज वो आती रहती है, सर में वो दीदी आती रहती हैं, तो इसका मतलब है दीदी हमें बिजनेस देने वाली हैं एज मच एज पॉसिबल. तो वो आई थिंक दैट्स अ बिग थिंग इन द होल स्कीम ऑफ थिंग्स, वेदर यू आर डूइंग वॉट एवर बिजनेस यू आर डूइंग, बिकॉज ऑल ऑफ अस हैव बिजनेसेस जहाँ पे कुछ भी मतलब वी हैव एक्सटर्नल वेंडर इंटरेक्शन. सो I think it's a good point that you brought in, Akshaya. Thank you so much. And I'm now going to ask Shubhra ji a few questions, and especially because so far we have been speaking a lot about the past कि क्या difficulties रही हैं, right? But I want to understand, and I want to really ask Shubhra ji, what do you see as the future for women entrepreneurs, and what is that we should be doing better for creating what should be done to create a better future for women entrepreneurs in India?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you, Manju ji, and all the panelists here. yeah, future of women entrepreneur is a very interesting aspect which we really have to look again and again, because till now we were more focusing on the traditional, the way of doing it. That if women comes up with certain ideas, that they will think that sitting at home, what kind of work we can really do it and help in the family income, not as a very like outgoing entrepreneur or enterprise which will really fight the challenges other entrepreneurs are going through. So they wanted to sit in a very safe environment and do it. But when I see the future, it's a very challenging, and we have to come out not looking yourself as a woman, but as a person. And with the idea you have, don't think that you are women or that your idea is more important, and the idea which will have a market, that has to be focused. Instead of saying that, yeah, how safe I am in that venture should be the secondary. Instead of, we should go ahead with the ideas which will help in changing the society, which will help in improving the life of people, which will help in like enhancing the income of a person, which is more important. That's what I feel, that then only we can really break those like barrier of the traditional, like the bindings we have. And because there you'll be able to see that how the intelligent women are. We can also see that the varied ideas of women, that women औरतें कहाँ तक सोच सकती हैं, उनकी सोच कहाँ तक पहुँच सकती हैं, और क्या नए आइडियाज लेके आती हैं वो. That is more that should be more focused on, instead of saying that yeah, औरतें उसको क्या बेनिफिट दिया जाए या उनकी लाइफ, सिर्फ औरतों की लाइफ को कैसे इम्प्रूव किया जाए उस पे नहीं, द होल सोसाइटी में what kind of role she can play in changing the whole structure of society. That should be the idea in the future of women entrepreneur. When I started this Mayra Food, I'll just set an example of that, why I've started Mayra Food. Of course, it is we started in a very traditional way, but we were addressing an issue which was for whole society. Our society was going through a very severe economic crisis, and we were called in a very disturbed area. Militant issue was there, political instabilities were there, and education was in a very bad shape. Everything was so disturbed that where to start was a very important aspect that to start with. Then I thought of that, let's begin in a very small way. Let's not think of the very larger way. Let's start from home and with a very small way, and start with what you have. Not bringing something very new which you have not seen, or very new which will have a very difficulties in marketing our product. Let's start with what we have. That was the idea came in. Then after trying out so many things, our idea stick with the food processing, because that was in the year 2004. Market was flooded with lots of like eatable items from outside Manipur. Not only that, talking about that other part of India, but also the neighboring countries were like sending lots of product to Manipur, and our peoples were happily eating those, even though with knowing that those are not very healthy. We can produce much better item from the available fruits and vegetables we already have, with the known fruits to us. And we were just taking those fruits because it comes in a beautiful packs, and it comes with a very low price, and it's easily available. So we were just going after that. But when we really come back to the situation that those were again classified that those were not a very good food, it will harm to your health. It was giving infections, and even in the long run, cancer may form, and all those things. But so many findings were put in front of us, but still people were just doing it because we were not giving alternative to that kind of food. Until and unless you produce those alternative and started talking about that this is good and this is not good. So you have a choice, that the choice that to choose the better. But if you don't have a choice, then you will definitely follow that, which is already available in the market. So that was the one thing we started with. Another was that we were shouting that we don't have the employment opportunity. But who are going to give employment? It's we who has to create it. It's like not the distinguishing that it's a man or women, but everybody is facing the same problem. The economic crisis was for all. It was affecting all life. So we all have to try from our side. So with the skill you have, if you start with that, you can go ahead. Because I, being from the food processing background and very in the rural, within the rural economy, so I had an idea that the fruits and vegetables which is available in our locality, which is going waste, can be utilized and value added, and we can produce items. And through that, you can create so many employment. It's not only that you are benefiting yourself, but because you have created a product, you can give training to so many people, and they can also employ themselves and earn for their own livelihood. That was the idea we created. And another, the issue which we were addressing is that we were called that economically backward. Not only economically backward, we were also called that it's a industrially backward state. So, of course, in a day, as I said, we cannot build a very big industry. But when you start skilling yourself, start processing at your home, that can be expanded if you have a market. And when a market accepts it, expansion is always easy. Now, in 2004, I started this unit in my kitchen. And we had an expansion. My first industry was built up. Then that was not enough to meet the demand of the market. We introduced another industry. And now I have 3 full-fledged. And we are focusing not only for the local market, we are selling our product pan-India and also trying for the export. So it's not a small industry, home-based industry now. It is a big industry, but it takes time, but we have to conceptualize those things. So any idea which comes from women can be taken forward, so that let's not consider that this is a women idea or this just to improve the life of women, but it's to improve the life of whole society. That's what I feel that it should be the way we look to the future of entrepreneurship.
That's a brilliant input coming from yours. I think you've kind of, you've kind of said it all, right? I mean, don't treat women as women, treat them as a person first, and give all the merit to the idea she brings into the table, right? So I think that's a beautiful thing I think we should write it down and keep it on our desk, so that we don't start treating ourselves, lesser than anybody for that matter. So at this point, पुष्पांजलि जी, मैं आपसे एक चीज़ पूछना चाहती हूँ कि आप ये बताइए कि औरतों और लड़कियों को अपना खुद का काम, अपना खुद का बिजनेस करने के लिए सबसे ज़्यादा किस चीज़ की ज़रूरत होती है?
एक तो सबसे ज़्यादा अपना खुद का काम और खुद का बिजनेस करने के लिए जुनून का ज़्यादा ज़रूरत रहता है मैम। जुनून एक ये होगा और तभी वो कुछ कर पाएंगे, नहीं तो आगे बढ़ने के लिए दिमाग जरूरी है मैम, दिमाग का ज़्यादा जरूरी है। और ज्ञान जो है, ज्ञान नहीं होगा तो हम काम किस तरीके से, काम सीखने से भी नहीं होगा। काम का जो है ज्ञान नहीं होगा तो ज्ञान से हम आगे कैसे बढ़ सकते हैं। ये ज्ञान और टेक्नोलॉजी हमको ज़्यादा जरूरी है मैम।
And you see, on this note, I want to ask the next question also to you कि कितना टेक्नोलॉजी का क्या रोल है, और आपको क्या लगता है कि हम कितना यूज़ कर पाएंगे टेक्नोलॉजी अपने काम में?
जी, अभी जो हमारा काम हुआ मैम, जितना आगे से हम लोग कर रहे थे, और अभी हमारा जो एंटरप्रेन्योर लोग हम जो काम कर रहे हैं, जैसे कि अभी कोविड जो हुआ, हम लोग तो पॉलिश्री जो एग्जीबिशन है उसी पे ही डिपेंडेंट थे। कोरोना हुआ तो सब चीज़ बंद हो गया, यहाँ टेक्निक जो है यहाँ पे बहुत ही काम आया। आज हम जो भी जुड़े हैं टेक्निक के ही वजह से जुड़े हैं। टेक्निक एक द मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट इस काम के जरिया, क्योंकि हम अगर ये टेक्निक नहीं रहता तो आज हम आपसे बात नहीं कर पाते, और जो भी ज्ञान हमें मिल रहा है वो कहीं से भी हम नहीं जान पाते। कहाँ दिल्ली और कहाँ छोटा सा जिला नोआपड़ा जिला के गांव के एक महिला जो कि आज हम यहाँ तक जुड़े हुए हैं मैम। हमको टेक्निक बहुत इसमें आज जो है धृति के साथ हम जो कोरोना चलते ये जो काम किए हैं, हमारा तो उम्मीद खत्म हो गया था। कुछ मेंबर जो है अब नहीं कर पाएंगे, अब मतलब काम ही नहीं आ रहा है, काम ही नहीं आ रहा। हम तो एग्जीबिशन पे ही डिपेंडेंसी थे, और बाकी जो है खेती किसानी, जो उनके हस्बैंड काम करते हैं खेती किसानी, और फिर जो हमारा जो महिलाएं दीदी लोग जो है ये काम को लेके, तो अब काम ही नहीं है, तो उनका सबको ये अपना हिम्मत हार चुके थे। उसमें धृति ने हमको कुछ ट्रेनिंग दिए। धृति से जब जुड़े हमको कुछ ट्रेनिंग मिला, फोटोग्राफी का ये मिला, सोशल मीडिया क्या चीज है जानकारी मिला, सोशल मीडिया के ऊपर हम लोग बहुत जानकारी। तो आज यहाँ तक ये बात हुई कि मैम ये जो हम जो खो चुके थे, हमारा जो पैसेंस था वो खत्म हो चुका था। धृति के साथ जुड़ के ही हमने अपना फिर से एक नया उमंग, नया किरण, वो आस उम्मीद जो है पूरा शुरू हो गया, और नया जोश के साथ, नया प्रोडक्ट के साथ आज हम काम कर रहे हैं मैम। ये टेक्निक के ही कमाल है, ये टेक्निक जो है ये मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट चीज है।
And I'm very happy to hear that actually because I think lot of us हम लोग ये सोचते हैं कि हम टेक्नोलॉजी के बारे में बात करते हैं, हम इंटरनेट और इन सब चीज़ों के बारे में बात करते हैं, पर हमेशा वो डाउट रहता है कि कितना यूज़ कर पाएंगे इसको, कैसे लोग यूज़ कर रहे होंगे, इज़ इट लाइक ये सिर्फ अर्बन के लोगों के लिए ही अवेलेबल है, रूरल विलेजेस में भी इसको अच्छे से यूज़ कर पाएंगे, नहीं कर पाएंगे, ऐसे बहुत सारे थॉट्स आते रहते हैं हमारे मन में। एंड आई थिंक आपने काफ़ी हद तक वो जो डिलेमा है, जो एक डाउट है मन में, वो आई थिंक आपने काफ़ी हद तक क्लियर किया है। एंड आई एम वेरी हैप्पी दैट यू नो
टेक्निक धृति अगर ना होती तो नॉलेज ना आता तो टेक्निक नहीं सीख पाते थे। तो मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट नॉलेज और टेक्नोलॉजी, ये हमारे लिए बहुत जरूरी है।
बिल्कुल। So Akshaya, you know, what do you think is the most crucial support for women entrepreneurship and taking it forward?
Well, I think now the space is very open and very bright and promising, considering even when I started, I'm sure Shubhra ji and everybody started, like Shubhra ji said, she started way back in 2004. So I think at that time, this kind of an ecosystem where, you know, knowledge sharing, peer learning, support system was absolutely missing, you know. And business was treated only like a business. So until or unless you're generating a profit, nobody is going to give you any kind of support. So, but now the story has completely changed. Now people are actually investing on ideas or efforts or knowledge or something very, you know, unique or niche. So those kind of things are also being supported. We have a proper ecosystem where people can just learn from their peers. People can reach out to other, you know, people in the ecosystem to get market access or resources. So the space is very bright, but now with more access comes more people also. So I think going forward, women entrepreneurs on the first hand have to be very clear, very specific, because the space is going to be very competitive and very crowded. You know, no idea is going to be a woman entrepreneur's idea or a male entrepreneur's idea. So if you're working in bamboo, somebody else can also work in bamboo. If you're doing something in technology or food, somebody else can also do it. So that kind of clarity, I think, is very important. And I think one more thing that's important for women enterprises going forward is team building. A lot of time women try to do a lot of things by themselves. So they have to not focus on what to do, rather they have to focus on who is the person who can do this for me, right? Because with the right team building, they will not only be able to expand but also get more brains into business, and then they can actually, you know, it can help them better their decision making. So it will not just ease their work process but also give them a new insight into business. So that is, I think, one more important thing. So as we talk about technology, we talk about processes and other such things, what we also need to talk about is a mindset change for women entrepreneurs and team building, because before we actually create a technology for them, we also have to make sure that they adapt the technology as a user of technology. So we have to see a threshold कि क्या technology available है और वो उसका कितना percentage use करती हैं, and how is it that we can ask them to use more of it. So I think this is the kind of roadmap we should look at, and this is something very, very essential for people to actually stand in the market for a longer period of time.
Thank you, Akshaya, because I think you brought in a very interesting point there as to how do we start, really, I mean, treating ourselves as entrepreneurs, irrespective of whether we are male or female, right? And
Right.
start thinking, in terms of taking that to the next level, building teams around it, using technology around it, and and then run it like as competitive as you can, right? I mean, there is no, because nobody is going to give you an excuse because you're a woman. I think that's not the world we are going to enter into. So on that note, I have a question to you, Aruna ji. We are speaking about technology, and you use a lot of technology as as such in creating content and all of those things with youth. What do you see as in terms of digital technology, whether this actually bridges the gap, or is there also a possibility that it is increasing the divide that we have? Do you see any such trends on the ground?
Surprisingly, when we are working with children, I mean, both boys and girls, 5 to 19 years old group, interestingly, girl children are coming up. They take up the technology. They wanted to do audio editing, audio recording, and other stuff like that. At the same time, they wanted to, their participation is as par with boys. There is no, they never feel that they are, inferior to men or boys, and they grab the opportunity. They know what they want, all the girl children. Now, yes, technology is going to bridge the gap, definitely. Especially digital technology is used by young children and girls, youth. And moreover, in the school radio, we are inclusive. Here we work with differently abled children, visually challenged, and other children too. We work with rural, government schools, urban areas, apart from global schools. Wherever we go, we have the same kind of, response from the girls. They are very much enthusiastic towards using technology and participating on digital platforms. They are not inferior to anybody, and they are willing to learn. At the same time, they want to experiment, and without fear, if there is opportunity, they are coming forward to learn, unlearn, and relearn. That is what the children are doing. Yes, definitely. Currently, only 9 million women are registered, even though we are totally around 59 million are registered businesses are there in India. Only 13% are women currently. But I am looking at definitely this next decade is going to be women's decade, and at the same time we need to deal with climate change, global warming, all these things, and we need to find local solutions. I mean, different solutions, innovations. We need to create different kinds of ideas depending upon the geography and the local needs. And innovations are creativity are going to be crucial in the coming years. So technology is ever evolving and changing a lot. Within the 2 years during pandemic, we have seen the kind of technology, the kind of changes brought into technology. And we never know what kind of technology is going to emerge in the future, next 5 years, 10 years, or otherwise 20 years down the lane. But children with creativity, ideas and innovations, willing to learn, they are definitely going to be benefited. Yes, if they have confidence, we need to build that. Definitely, women are also going to get greater mileage and greater visible. What you say? Greater
Visibility to their work.
visibility. Yes, visibility they are going to get. Yeah, there is no discrimination in using the technology. Give the opportunity for women too, but don't discriminate women and men. Women are equally eligible and equally par with men in using technology. As Pushpaji was mentioning and Shubhraji was mentioning, and Akshay also reiterated this thing. Yes, women are definitely going to learn. Yeah, that is what I believe. Future is very much optimistic to me. Yeah. Thank you.
It's actually very good to know that, because the more number of girls training themselves in technology, I think that's going to take care of things, right? So I think to a large extent our problem will be solved when we have girls being groomed at a very early age for taking more responsibility and coming to the mainstream. So Shubhraji, I think the last question for the session I have for you, and this is a very personal question, and I hope you'll be happy to answer that. The question to you is, if you were to given a chance to rewind your life as an entrepreneur, is there anything that you would like to do differently in this entrepreneurship journey?
I was like, it's not by choice that I become entrepreneur, but it was a situation made me entrepreneur. But if a given opportunity to me and have to rewind myself as an entrepreneur, I would have gone through a training that how to start a business in a proper way. Whatever I have done, it was on try and hit thing. Of course, I knew that because before I start my business, I was working in social sector, and I was very much on media as well. So I was a known face to so many people, and my work with so many sect of people was already in. So when I came up with a product in a market, it was not my product which was selling. It was more that Shubhra is making it. It's a Shubhra's product, or Shubhra has created it. So because I was popular that time, before that I started my business, it was easy for me to come to the market with a product because I was selling myself. But if a very new person who has never come out in the market and never shown themselves with their creativity, it would have been very difficult. But still, because I was playing a very safe role that way, but if the proper training been given to me on this line of business, I would be taking it more faster and in more manifold, jumped up. Otherwise, see, of course, I started from the zero investment, 100 rupees investment, and it has reached to a few crores of rupees jump. But I don't take this as a very big jump in a real business sense. But in the social impact, which we have created, is that when I started this Myra Foods, that time there were not much of this kind of business on seen in the market. But now looking to my success, looking that my product been accepted, and I have made the line for so many people easier that they can enter in the same kind of product. Now it's more than 2,000 number of women-headed food processing unit who are making almost very similar kind of product, which I have created. So people think that that's a competition, but to me it's not, because as a social entrepreneur, I find that this is what I want to create. Because as a technical person, or as a person who have gone through certain technical exposure and who are access to certain new technology, I can go to a different height. But people at the rural areas, people at who has not been accessible to all these facilities which government has created or bank has created, for them it's a showing a very successful a model to them. So if you ask me that if I have been taken back to the history or past, how I want to start myself, I feel that, of course, a training was very important. If I have been given training on business line, I would be doing much better. But whatever I have done for the betterment, and I have never shielded myself from learning. I'm always open to learn. I have learned from different sects of people and from different institutions. I'm still going on learning. That's what, and learning is, it should be open to all, and we should not bind ourselves with the age and experience, because every day new findings is there, and we should be ready to learn new things.
That's such an inspirational thing that you told, that you're not frightened or disturbed with the fact that there are 2,000 more competitions who are there around you, who have got inspired by your work. And I think that's again something that is that we all have to accept, that the market is going to be flooded with a lot of initiatives which are similar to us, and probably we should look at maybe collaborating with them or creating our own niche as we move forward. But there is no end to it. It's going to stay, and that is how it's going to be, and let's not take anything for granted for that matter. So on that, I think I'm just trying to see some questions that people have put. So I have a question from Aditya, that as a woman entrepreneur working in rural areas, what is the biggest thing you fear in future? And I would want to ask Akshaya this question. What is that you're fearing the most as somebody who is working in rural areas?
At this point, I think the rural economy is not changing as much as the urban economy is changing. For instance, very recently we were trying to just measure the impact that we have created actually in numbers, and we wanted our artisans to fill in a small form. And at that point I realized that so many of them do not have access to decent kind of phones or even smartphones, or even if they have the smartphones, they don't know what's an update of a software. So I think that is one thing that I believe, you don't have so many users of technology in the rural background, and they're actually oblivious to it. They do not care. They'll just simply ask you, is it possible to do it in a much simpler way, or in a way where somebody can just come and ask us questions. We're happy to do that, but just don't give us these handsets and stuff like that. So I think my basic going forward, my agenda is, how do I bring on these people on board as a user of technology, first thing, and second, how I there are certain things where I want a mindset shift. So I would probably want to do small seminars or workshops for them to learn that just because you're in a rural background or setup does not really mean you have to be deprived of better medical health care or better services or better transports. These are the things that you can also get here while you're working in your traditional setup. It's just that you need to know how to ask for it, how to voice for it. So these are the things that I think are the areas where I will preferably want to see more work on, and bring them on board as users of technology, first thing. Because one thing that pandemic, thank God for my value chain, that the COVID did not impact us much, but at that point I realized that I can hardly monitor anything that's being done. So it was very essential for me to know what are the kind of technological setups that we can introduce in our kind of business model that can help us monitoring of work and delivering a better result.
Awesome. So I think I have one more question. I think that will be the last question I can take. Are there forums where small rural women entrepreneurs from one state can come together and take help from each other? So this is an open question and I would put it to any one of you who would like to answer that. The question is that ऐसा कोई forum है जहाँ जो रूरल एंटरप्रेन्योर्स जो अलग अलग स्टेट से बिलोंग करते हैं उनको एक साथ जोड़ के लेके आ सकते हैं? आर यू अवेयर ऑफ एनी सच फोरम्स विच आर अवेलेबल? एनीबडी?
रूरल एंटरप्रेन्योर्स नमके गुटे जगह में आने पर
नहीं, ऐसा तो कुछ नहीं है.
Every state form their own networks of entrepreneurs. Like Manipur has so many women. It's not only a women entrepreneurs network, but a common entrepreneurs network. But apart from that, there are women entrepreneur network as well. So it is there, but not exactly that. National forums are also there, but I don't find that it's that effective compared to your local networks, because local you are more close and you are more you can have more interactions and you understand more that way. But national forums are in such where it is more of that once in a while you meet, only once in a year when there's a program is there, nothing like that you have a very regular interaction among them. So, but in this pandemic period, of course, there were so many webinars happen in this kind of forum, and that has come bring us closer, and we come to know so many people on one platform that like a very unknown faces came into the platform, and we come to also know that what kind of work these people are doing and where we are moving. So it is there, and it depends on that where you want to join in. Yeah.
So I think go ahead Pushpanjali ji.
जी, ऐसा तो अभी तक के तो मैम डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल में भी एक एंटरप्रेन्योर का कुछ इकट्ठा जो बोल रहे हैं, ऐसा अभी तक के तो डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल में नहीं है मैम, ब्लॉक लेवल में भी नहीं है, तो स्टेट लेवल में कहाँ से पॉसिबल है? हम जो ये काम को लेके जो नयापारा डिस्ट्रिक्ट से छोटा सा जगह से जाके भुवनेश्वर में जो भी एग्जीबिशन है जाते हैं, पहला महिला हम आर्टिस्ट हैं जो कि ये काम को लेके नयापारा जिला से, छोटे से जिला से जाके वहाँ पे प्रेजेंटेशन करते हैं. ऐसा अपॉर्चुनिटी तो अभी तक हुआ नहीं है कि एकत्रित सब महिला जाके ये हो सके. और अभी तक के देखा जाए तो छोटा सा जगह भुवनेश्वर में भी, ओडिशा ये में भी मैम, कि छोटा सा जगह से आए हैं नयापारा डिस्ट्रिक्ट ओडिशा. वो लोगों का सोच ये है कि भुवनेश्वर में ही ये काम होता है, भुवनेश्वर में ही ये काम होता है. और हमको जैसे हमारा परिचय मांगते हैं कि आप कहाँ से, नयापारा जिला से, उनको अभी तक पता नहीं है कि एक छोटा सा जिला है और उस जिले से आके ये महिला फर्स्ट हम लोग जैसे अच्छी महिलाएं जाके वहाँ पे काम शो कर रहे हैं, दिखाते हैं हमें.
So that actually जिसने भी question पूछा है, I think that's an answer to you very clearly that there isn't enough, right? I mean the efforts, whatever has happened, it is going on, but there is still a very, very long way to go when in terms of creating networks for women, and especially women who are active in rural areas and bringing them together. So I think I can keep on discussing this with all of you. I think it's a very, very interesting conversation, and which will never end also, because all of us have a perspective to add to it, and very important. I understand that Anirban has given me just as much time to do the session, and I must say that I'm concluding this session on an even more positive note than where I started with. And all thanks to my lovely panelists. आप सबको बहुत धन्यवाद for contributing to this discussion. To all our listeners, we have 2 amazing sessions coming up today afternoon with a focus on CSR. The panel has several CSR leaders who will be talking about some unique models for supporting and promoting women entrepreneurship. So don't forget to tune in. The link for the session will be put up in the chat box. So do register and please do join us. And I would love to now hand it over to Anirban for taking the session forward.
Thank you so much, Manju and the panelists. Each one of you brought in so much of perspective. So, जो रियलाइजेशन है, और लास्ट में जब बात हो रही थी कि ऐसा कोई नेटवर्क है कि नहीं, is there a such kind of a network where women entrepreneurs from across the country are coming together? We have also been struggling with it. We have been trying to do it in small quarters, in small spaces. मणिपुर में हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं, शुभ्रा जी हमारे साथ हैं उसमें. We are trying similar kind of a thing in Nagaland. हर जगह पे, और ऐसे कुछ बहुत सारे फोरम्स हैं भी, लेकिन ये जो एक साथ आने की बात है, और जो मीरा जी ने, जो शुभ्रा जी ने एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज कही थी कि काम भी करना है रेगुलरली. ये नहीं कि साल में एक बार एक इवेंट कर लिए, तो वो भी जरूरी है. तो वो करने की एक कोशिश, साझा कोशिश चल रही है. हर एक, each one of you here gave us perspectives and real perspectives of of entrepreneurship, women entrepreneurship in the rural space, in the reality. And I think this becomes the bedrock of a lot of discussions that we will be having in the next 1 week. And we wanted this perspective to come first, because this is the perspective that we are talking of. We are talking about women entrepreneurs, and we cannot design anything without understanding the perspectives of women entrepreneurs. So thank you, each one of you. Shubhra ji, thanks a lot for being here on the panel. We are trying to do a lot together in the space of women entrepreneurship in Manipur and across it. And I look forward to taking this forward. Pushpanjali ji, इनफैक्ट मैं सबको, सारी ऑडियंस को ये बताना चाहूँगा कि टेक्नोलॉजी का अगर किसी ने फ़ायदा उठाया है, हमने सीखा है कि पुष्पांजलि जी से सीखो कि कैसे फ़ायदा उठाए. बिकॉज वी जस्ट डिड वन social media workshop with her and her team, and you won't believe, after that we get designs every day. They are in Pinterest, they are on various places, they are seeing various things, experimenting, and every second day I am getting new designs. Iska kaisa lagta hai aapko, sir? And we're like, okay, completely overwhelmed. But that's what it is done. They had not experimented, but जिस pace में अभी R&D चल रहा है काठाकृति में, I am so happy for you. बहुत बहुत आनंद आता है.
Thank you.
I have seen Akshay Shri for a long period of time now, and we've seen her grow from strength to strength, and she's 30 under 30 Forbes list में जब कोई आ जाता है, उसके बाद कई लोग बात ही नहीं करते हैं. But Akshay Shri has been a sweetheart, and thank you so much for being here, Akshay Shri. Aruna ji, I'm meeting you for the first time, and it has been a pleasure. We look forward to working further and learning more from you and taking our work to the young entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs, in a different way. And I surely look forward to School Radio as a medium to do that over a period of time. Thank you so much. Also, now, with your permission, with the permission of all the women entrepreneurs, we are officially launching the Script for Her hackathon, where professionals as well as students working in the space of technology development, app development, and various aspects, they are going to now start working on certain problem statements that have been given to them on the solutions to be built for women entrepreneurs in rural spaces. And so if we can officially launch it right away, that we've crossed 12 noon, and 12 noon is the start period for them. They are going to all these innovative minds are going to now work till Wednesday 12 noon and bring in their ideas. They will be mentored and judged by some of the best brains in the space, in the IT space, to look at the IT as well as rural entrepreneurship space, to look at how can these technologies be made better applicable and acceptable to the rural populace, to the target group that we are taking it to. So look forward to the discussions further on, and thank you so much all the panelists for being here. Pleasure.
Thank you.
We join back at 3:00 today with two fantastic panels on talking about CSR's role in development of women entrepreneurship in the country and the future of women entrepreneurship in the country. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And a big thank you to Manju. She has been looking at the problems, the issues in a very structured manner. And thank you for being here, and thank you for taking us through this journey with all our women entrepreneurs. Thank you, Manju.
All my pleasure, Anirban. Thank you so much for having me here.